Alexa, play worship music.
Here's a station you might like. Praise and worship on Amazon Music.
Hey Dennis, what's going on? Hey Jared. I should be talking to you tomorrow. Okay guys, so we're gonna go over something good today. I have a whole lesson on this, but we did this in group coaching. Not all of you were there, obviously, but we did this, I think it was back in September, maybe October. I don't really remember how long ago it was at this point. Which, by the way, you know, you guys keep asking me when I'm going to resume group coaching. It's coming. Please be patient with me because, as you can imagine, it's very exhausting, tiring. There's a lot on my plate. One thing I want to make clear, and I was going to do an announcement about this anyway, is I'm not going to ever try to be like other, you know, coaches and stuff like that. I'm just not going to. So what you see is what you get. If you see me on here and I manage to get on here with my pajamas, that's what happens. My schedule is very fast paced. I'm not gonna try to compare myself to people maybe that don't have kids. I'm not gonna try, oh goodness, see, distraction. Lord Jesus, help whoever that is in the name of Jesus. Distraction, see? Anyways, I'm not gonna try to compare myself to maybe coaches that don't have kids, or maybe people that, you know, have the money to invest in more stuff. You know, as you know, what you see is what you get. That's one of the reasons why, if you noticed, I don't have those fancy backgrounds. I do the black screen most of the time, and I do my video that way. There's nothing wrong with the way other people do it. I'm just saying I'm not going to try to compete, and you guys have already probably seen that. So I just wanted to put that out there. But as far as the group coaching goes, I will be resuming that soon, once I get a set day that I will have privacy and be able to have my undivided attention to you guys. Because I'm not going to try to do something half-butt. You know what I mean? I'm not going to try to do something if I'm going to have a ton of distractions in the background. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So, back when we were doing group coaching and I had a set schedule, we went over rejection. And this is something that I'm going to touch on today because a lot of you that I've been doing calls with are very, very rejected. Well, I should say feel rejected. And that's understandable. given what you're experiencing, and you don't know what you don't know, you know. Let me get my book. You know what, guys? I'm sorry. I'm telling you what. Okay. What you see is what you get. Okay. Alright, let me line that back up. Okay. So I got my book. And we are going to touch on this. But before we get into this, I want to ask everybody how they're feeling tonight. And exactly, well, welcome Jessica to the live. I'm glad that you're new. Thank you, Jesus, for leading you in. This might really help you because I felt led to do this tonight, this specific word. So anybody that did the group coaching, you know, it's not going to hurt to learn it again. So anyways, how does everybody feel as of right now tonight on what's going on in your situation? Like, what are you feeling? Not, you know, everything that's going on. What are you feeling? Put your feelings in the comments. Where's everybody at? What's everybody feeling? Okay, Jared, numb. Nicole, today I feel frustrated. Okay, so numb, frustrated. Keep it coming, guys. Lost, alone, and hopeless. Bryson. Frustrated. Feeling good today. And much better since our... Oh, well, you know what, Ken? I'm glad to hear that. And I'll be filling you up again. This week I got a good word for you. Holly, it is 1 a.m. here in the UK. Oh. So you're like over like London, you know, England, you know, like over that way? I have a lot of clients that are over that way, and I am always 6 hours behind them. Okay, Elizabeth, very hurt. Okay, I'm glad that you specified that, Robin. All right, Bryson. I'm glad. So I know. South of Ansburg. Hopeless, rejected, and alone. Okay. All right, so this is some good stuff, guys. So we're going to go over. So again, anybody that heard it, I'm not repeating myself. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to try to be somebody else for people to like me. That's why you see that I don't have the fancy backgrounds. I have the black screen, and that's it. Like, I don't get into all that stuff. Not that eventually maybe I won't do that, but I literally am doing this because God has called me to do this. This isn't because I'm trying to impress anybody or make this fancy background. It doesn't make sense. I want you to understand that. Okay. So, basically, we're going to go over rejection, and we're going to go over unheard. Yeah, Laura, that's true. Dennis, good today. Curious what the new year holds. It's going to be good, Dennis. It's going to be good. I can't wait to talk to you. I got a lot to tell you. I think we talk tomorrow. I have to look at my book. Anyways, okay. So, healing from rejection. This is what I did back in September to anybody that did the group coaching. Okay, so rejection is one of the most destructive demonic spirits to enter somebody's life. It is a spoiler. The verb to spoil is ruin. The enemy uses rejection to rob people of their dignity, their identity, their position, their power, and their authority. Rejection will not allow you to live a life of fullness, freedom, and unconditional love of God. Rejection can show up in many different ways. It can be as simple as being told no. It could be as simple as being turned down for an opportunity that you really wanted, that was maybe given to somebody else. I always like to bring up about how this could even be you know, when you were in gym class back in elementary school, when people picked teams for like dodgeball and things like that and not getting picked or being one of the last people to get picked, you don't realize how that could affect you. Well, I'm glad that it's working out, Steve. Listening while working. Good. Okay. Feeling very rejected. Well, this is for you then, Valerie. Disconnected from God. Yeah, that happens. That happens for sure, Jessica. Okay, so rejection can show up in many different ways, like we said. Rejection can progress, and it can escalate to being told that we don't fit in, or we don't belong, or even feel like the black sheep of the family, the black sheep in just general. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right, honey. Okay, so we experience rejection on a regular basis. At these levels, we even reject things that don't work for us. So even we reject, but then we get upset when we're rejected. That's why this world is just, there's so much rejection to it in the first place. The most damaging kind of rejection begins very early in your life, in childhood. Many times through some kind of abuse of some kind. There's silent abuse, you know, you don't really know until later on. Abandonment, lack of love, affection from a parent, maybe a parent preferring another sibling. This is why childhood has so much to do with how the course of our lives will develop, okay? And this is very, very accurate, guys. Very accurate. Okay, it then will make it very hard to handle any kind of rejection in the future. So it starts in childhood, Satan sets it up, and then later on, it's going to get more intense because what he's doing is he's pushing on the rejection that was from a child, okay? So the rejection's always there, he just keeps using new opportunities to keep pushing on that rejection. That's why, like with your spouses, when things start to turn around, remember this, he's always going to push on the rejection that you're facing with right now, okay? And then with your spouse, he's going to keep pushing on the rejection that they felt in the worldly marriage. This is just what he does, okay? You got to be aware. It then makes it very hard to handle any kind of rejection in the future. We try to cover up rejection in many different ways to hide it. Now, this is my favorite. People pleasing. This is very accurate. Attention seeking, perfectionism, addiction to drugs, alcohol, sexual things, isolation, anger or bitterness, hard-heartedness, pride. So something I used to do was I used to people please. This was my way of trying to prevent getting rejected. I always would try to please people, okay? I don't do that no more. Now, I'm not perfect, but that was what I always used to do. Attention seeking, like, you know, like when you see women post selfies all the time, this is a clear indicator that they're rejected. Because if you were that content with yourself, you wouldn't have to keep posting selfies. Does this make sense? Okay. Perfectionism. I did this one. My nanny actually was this way too. Like, there's a lot of people, they'll try to be perfect at something. Maybe it's perfect at dieting, perfect at doing beauty, cosmetic type of stuff. I'm trying to think of what else. Maybe, you know, you want to be perfect at cooking, gardening, a hobby of some sort. When you try to be perfect at something, you're trying to get self-validation and other people's validation, okay? Because you need somebody to tell you that you're worthy of something. Isolation is another one. People will literally isolate, you know, they'll go into hiding. They don't want to be in community. They want to avoid people. This is another one of rejection. Anger and bitterness. When people are angry and bitter and they will project that on you, it's usually because they are angry and bitter. They're rejected themselves, so they're going to project the anger and the bitterness. So like maybe like somebody yells at you and tells you off, you know, instead of looking at it like they're mean, look at it as they are rejected, so they're projecting on you what they already feel. Hard-heartedness, like people like your spouses that are being hard-hearted, they're rejected. That's why they're doing this. Let's take Pharaoh. When Pharaoh's heart became hard, does anybody know why his heart was hard? Other than God doing it. Does anybody know what happened that caused his heart to become hard? Does anybody want to answer it? Yeah, me too, Nicole. I had to be perfect at looks, makeup, cooking, all the stuff that was invested in my salon, like eyebrows, nails, all that different stuff. Like I was trying to become perfect to get validation from the world. But does anybody want to answer why Pharaoh was hard-hearted? Okay, so everybody's right, but there's a deeper reason to why he became so angry. The thing I always like to say is, did anybody here ever watch The Prince of Egypt or Exodus? Well, Prince of Egypt's like the kid version. It's always still good. And then there's the Exodus one, which is the adult version. It'll help you understand it a little bit more than when you're reading the Bible to visually see it. But the answer is, he loved his brother Moses, okay? When Moses decided to take off and to leave and to reject him, it caused him to grow cold. It caused him to grow angry and bitter because Moses was rejecting the Egyptian way. Moses was rejecting his culture. He was rejecting everything to do with him. Does this make sense? Moses was then choosing God, not him. Does this make sense, everybody? God obviously hardened it. That's another good one, Dennis. Moses obviously had God's favor as well. Okay, so that makes sense. So again, Pharaoh felt rejected, so then he was projecting the rejection that he already felt. And then obviously disobedience went into the situation. He wouldn't do what God said. God kept telling him, to listen to Moses and the plagues, all that different stuff, and he just would not listen. Okay. So, now it goes on to say that I have in my notes. So we will either use these things to gain love, acceptance, and a sense of self-worth, or we will use them to guard ourselves from being hurt again. Okay, so what that means is you will use the following, like the people-pleasing, attention-seeking, perfectionism, addiction, drugs, alcohol, sexual things, isolation, anger, bitterness, hard-heartedness, and pride, to either gain love, in other words, use these things to gain love, like women that try to seduce men sexually. They're trying to gain love. It's not them just wanting to be promiscuous. They're doing it because they really want love, okay? Or they're using it to gain self-worth, so like being perfect to get self-worth, okay? Or to guard themselves. So maybe people that project anger and bitterness, okay? They're trying to protect themselves from somebody hurting them because they don't want to put their whole heart out there. Alcohol and drugs, protecting themselves. They're guarding themselves with it from being hurt again. It's a numbing effect. Rejection is a vicious cycle, and same with sex. Like people will use sex and they'll say they don't want nothing serious. I'm sure you guys have seen enough movies. Let's take secular movies. Did anybody here ever see Friends with Benefits, or No Strings Attached. With one was with Natalie Portman and Ashton Kutcher. The other was with Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis. They showed you even in those, if you want to take secular movies, how all of them were doing that because they didn't want to get hurt. Nobody just wants to have sex, guys. Okay, come on. So I don't care who says it. It's because there's something underlying there they're trying to protect themselves from. Okay? So again, they're using these things to gain love, acceptance, self-worth, or using it to guard themselves from being hurt again. That's why you've seen like Natalie Portman didn't want to be serious with Ashton Kutcher because she didn't want to get hurt. Okay. Rejection is a vicious cycle that leads us further and deeper into destruction. Rejection leads us into comparison. Comparison leads us into offense, which leads us into jealousy, which leads us into envy, and then victimizing ourselves to others. This is something that's really good. Don't compare yourselves, guys. This is one thing I'll say all the time. Do not compare yourselves to anybody. When you compare yourself, what's going to happen is that's where the enemy starts. So let's say I'm comparing myself. That's why you don't see me. I will not ever try to compete with other coaches. I won't, okay? I do what I do, and if you want to listen to me, you listen to me. I don't need to try to one-up anybody. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I keep my prices low enough, you know, I don't care. You know, if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. So, let's say I started comparing myself to other coaches. What's then going to happen is that it's going to lead to me being offended. Like, let's say somebody decides to listen to one person instead of me. Then it starts with offense, okay? Well, it starts with comparison. I'm comparing. Then I get offended. Oh, they chose that person. Then it turns into jealousy. I become jealous of what that person has. And then I become envious. And then I start victimizing myself that I'm the victim. Does this make sense, guys? Okay? And this goes with this is more than just that. This is anything with maybe wanting people to see your truth, wanting people to see what you have to say. So like, let's say, you know, maybe people involved in your situation are taking other people's sides. That's a dangerous thing. Don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself to trying to get people to understand that you're right and your husband or wife is wrong. Don't try to even go there, because just like Jesus said, he came down and performed the miracles and everything, and they still put him up on that cross. It's not going to make a difference. Rejection usually enters from not feeling love or accepted. People can say that they don't need anyone or that they don't care what people think. This is not completely true. This is actually a pretty clear sign that they've experienced rejection at some point. God created us to desire love, want acceptance, and to feel important. That's what he designed us to feel, guys. If we don't receive these things, it stems into rejection, which then manifests into fear and then pride. So fear and pride go into rejection. Okay, so I'm going to stop there because I want us to start perceiving things. So I'm going to be able to be on here till about like 8:45, so I got about 25 minutes. So basically what we're going to go here with is every time I do a live, I'm going to give more of this. We're going to stop with where we're at right now with what I've read. Now I want to hear everybody's opinion here. Rejection of another first, so that they aren't the one being rejected too. I'm confused at what you mean, Holly. Can you repeat that like in a more simplified way? Yeah, I'm glad it made sense then. I have felt that my husband abandoned me so that it did not happen to him. I have felt that my husband abandoned me. That's not true. No, that's definitely not true, Holly. Basically, the reason why you feel abandoned is because there's, like, if you and I did a call, I'd be able to pull out, like, from your childhood and all that stuff. You feel abandoned because this is much deeper, all the way back to your childhood. This doesn't mean that your parents physically abandoned you, but you have the spirit of abandonment on you to say you were abandoned. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So something in your life took place to trigger that spirit that's already there. But that's not true. Basically, this was used to develop you, to build character in you, and to get you to where you need to be. Nicole, yeah, I definitely feel I can understand more what my husband is doing. He's hurting, yes. And there's no peace in sin, guys. There's no peace. No peace at all. He was fearful that it would happen to him, so he did it first. Yeah, that makes more sense. There's people that dump people because they don't want it to happen to them. And they got tons of stuff going on themselves. My husband has multiple personalities from Boston. Okay, so they don't have, nobody has multiple personalities. Those are all spirits. That's double-mindedness. Yes, it makes sense. Okay, good. Jessica Taylor, I've noticed that people afraid of rejection reject. Yes, they do. You're absolutely right. Which then causes them to be rejected, self-fulfilling prophecy. Yes, they're afraid to be rejected, so they reject first. And the reason why they're doing that is because they just assume that they're going to be rejected. That's absolutely true. Man, I'm telling you guys. I'm very sleepy, guys. That does happen in kids, Nicole. For sure, because think about how you feel, let alone your children. They don't understand what's going on. This is why the worst thing anybody can do, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is hard. It's very hard because when you're in it, it's a whole different story. The worst thing anybody here can do is try to get your children to choose, or to try to make your children feel bad for maybe choosing the father or the mother who has walked out. I remember I used to be brokenhearted because my son would choose to be with my husband, and he would embarrass me in front of everybody and say he wanted him. As you can imagine, it killed me, and I'd be humiliated because everybody's seen it, and all I would do is just keep crying to God, crying to God. The Lord showed me that that was all the enemy. The enemy will do everything he possibly can to get you to feel rejected, and that's a form of rejection. The worst thing you can do, this cat, the worst thing you can do is try to make them feel bad, or something that I know a lot of women do. I know they do it. I did this, is try to pry information like Inspector Gadget out of their children. That's the spirit of double-mindedness, Bathsheba. What does it say about double-minded people? They are unstable in all of their ways. Do not trust them. So, something that should be encouraging. Did anybody here see my post in the group today about my friend? His name's Ryan. He's in the fitness industry. When I tell you guys, I went to school with him, that he was like a popular guy that, you know, was handsome and, you know, just popular, and he came from a wealthy family. Well, he ends up getting into the fitness industry. He's a fitness model. You know, the usual, like, does all the painting and stuff like that to make himself look a certain way. And all he is like just all into fitness. He trains people. He's a personal trainer. Well, I was shocked to see the changes that he made. Like, I'm telling you right now, like, literally, he has found out his identity in Christ, okay? And posted it for everybody to see. Like, literally, he doesn't make money on anything but secular stuff, as you can imagine. He didn't even care, guys. He didn't even care. I mean, that right there showed me God can get a hold of anybody. I'm glad that you liked the post, Lakeisha. Yes, I was so excited. He's such a handsome guy, too. I hope he finds a Christian woman, and I just really... And then he even made T-shirts. I'm looking at it right now. His T-shirt says, "With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible." And that's his new logo T-shirt. Now, if he could get a hold of him... Now, think about it. As popular as he is, he might lose clients because they are not Christian. Okay, this is how he makes his money, is off of clients. And he doesn't care, guys. He don't care. How do you pray? Okay, so how you would pray for double-minded is you want to pray for the spirit of double-mindedness to be off of your spouse. But I'm going to be honest, a lot of people, they'll get upset because they'll say, well, I'm praying this every day, but it's not working. Everything's gonna get worse before it gets better when you're praying. As far as who, his name's Ryan Campbell. I posted him in the Facebook group. I don't know if you're on the Facebook group, honey. Let me pull it up. I haven't posted it on my real Facebook. Okay, let's see if I can show you. Okay. Okay, so here's his video.
And I feel like
let's watch it together.
Why so many of us are lost in our lives. And
okay, watch, guys. He was in the fitness industry. Okay, I went to school with this kid.
You know, I was planning on just making a simple post today, showing my shirt that I'm proud of. But it became so much more after church this afternoon. It just tied directly to how I felt on my journey, and I feel like why so many of us are lost in our lives. And let's start here. I think a lot of people don't even understand what it takes to get to heaven. I didn't. You know, a lot of us think it's if we're a good person and we do good things for others and we show up to church and we go to confession and we do these things one after another, then we're going to go to heaven. And that's not the case at all. What it comes down to is Jesus Christ was a sacrifice. He paid the ultimate price because what? Because we're all so far from perfect. We're all sinners. And a lot of us don't want to hear it, but none of us deserve to go to heaven. None of us.
Okay, guys. That guy, okay, is a fitness model. Okay? I went to school with him. Slept around. I'm not picking at him. Fornicated, all that different stuff. Lived a life of driving around in sports cars. That is what I'm talking about here. Now, it gets better. Okay. Listen, guys.
Guys, how's everybody doing? Merry Christmas. You know, when I started this, I swore that no matter what happened, I wanted this to be about so much more than just fitness, a pretty physique, a pretty face. I want to truly make a difference. I truly want to inspire people and motivate people and preach a positive message. And if I'm being honest, I've been far from perfect. What can I say? I've done my best in so many ways, but there's so many times I've looked within myself too, and I could have been better. But if there's one message that I feel is most important over anything, it ties directly to this weekend and Christmas and what it's all about, and something that's really changed my life and my faith.
Okay, as you can see, guys, there's more. I don't know what... here it is. I'll show you where it's at. I was trying to find the identity one. This is my favorite video. Now listen real good.
We were all nothing. It's become so clear to me.
Okay, guys, this is what's going to happen to your spouse. So listen.
And a lot of people don't like this. A lot of people don't want to hear this. By all means, man, you're free to live your life however you want. We were all blessed with life, and we can live it however we choose to. But as I go through my life, and I'm trying so hard in so many aspects, nothing has been more true than this to me. Nothing. It's become so clear.
Listen.
It's not going to make my life complete by getting my pro card. It's not going to make my life complete by finding my soulmate. These are all going to complement me. These are all going to help. But truly, where I'm finding the most peace inside myself is building my personal relationship with God. I can't explain it, but all I know is that's the message I want to share, especially during this holiday season, because that's what's most important.
Okay, what does everybody think of that? Now, guys, I follow him on a regular. I went to school with him. He's my age. Me and him are friends. I guarantee you, that's how sure I am God's moving, that his whole, I guess you could say, career is going to change, and it's going to become God-based. I mean, think about it. The t-shirts are already made. I don't think it's going to be the same thing, just so everybody gets a clear view here of, like, what I'm talking about, like how he is a fitness model. This is his profile picture. So everybody gets this. I need everybody to understand what I'm showing you here. Like, this was him. Okay? He does this for a living. Okay? He coaches people. He's his clients. This was how he made money, getting women to be able to wear bikinis and all that different stuff. And his whole format is changing. Now, this should encourage everybody. Was wondering if my husband says one thing, then says something else, gets angry, gets nothing. Yeah, that's definitely double-minded. I found out he wants to leave me for this woman. He's not. Yeah, double-minded, and that's a soul wound connection. It's not going to last, April. Sometimes I wonder if people like that are easier than someone who believes but really don't do anything to... Okay, so no, this guy did believe. He went to church. He just didn't have a relationship with him like I'm talking about. You have to pretty much get into a place where it's only you and God. Just curious to your thoughts on my son telling me that Jesus told him his mother and I will be... Yeah, that definitely, just so you're aware of that. God will even use your children to tell you things. So maybe they'll even have a dream. Like, I remember my son would have dreams that he would repeat to me about the future. So that's definitely accurate. Yes, he's deceived is what it is. Absolutely. It's a counterfeit, guys. Okay, so guys, we got about 7 minutes. So keep the questions coming, whatever you want to say. Was this live helpful? Yeah, see, and your daughter, she also could have like the gift of prophecy, Nicole. Because just like we have gifts, they have gifts. Yes. All prodigals are going to end up like the prodigal son. They're going to have nowhere to turn. But I'm going to tell you right now, guys, if you help them in any way, you give them money, you motivate them, you encourage them, that right there is going to delay your journey, and it's not going to happen. I have people, well, I should say clients, that didn't listen to me and helped their spouse out, and their spouses, as soon as they got back on their feet, they left again with another woman. One story, a woman was at her husband's bedside in the hospital because he was dying. He was having multiple heart attacks. She goes, she saves the day, she's helping him, she's motivating him. His family even wanted to know why she was there. She brings him home. She's thinking they're going to work on things because he had like a near-death experience, all that stuff. He gets back to health, and then he packs up and leaves again. So, just so you're aware, if you get in God's way, this could happen. Then their wrath and their judgment can also affect you. It ain't nothing to play with. Let's take Jonah. We went over this last time. Remember Jonah? Jonah gets on the boat. Everybody on the ship was experiencing the wrath of Jonah. They had to throw him overboard. God's going to get his way with them, but you better stay out of the way. My younger son just started. Are you talking about your older son? You're talking about your younger son, Ken. Landon, right? Just started asking. Are you talking? I see what you're saying now. He wants you to come back to where your wife lives. Oh, I'm good. I'm glad, Ken. I'm glad. Yeah, because you missed some of the group coaching, so you didn't hear these messages. It's very helpful. Thank you. So as you can see, guys, if he was able to reach my friend Ryan, and Ryan has everything to lose. That's why if you noticed, he put on there that people don't have to like it. That was a bold move to do something like that. He has a huge following, okay? And that's money we're talking about. Like, he drives nice BMWs and everything, and he has a lot he's a model, and he don't care. And this is happening a lot. I mean, Rob Schneider just got radically saved too. I've heard marriage restoration where the wife was, what does that say? I don't know what you're saying, honey. Was there help? Well, yeah, if you help them, it's not good. That's the worst thing you can do. Stay out of God's way. Oh, I'm so glad, April. I'm so glad. Oh, that's so sweet. Well, that's kind of what happened with me. God would always send me certain people, you know, destiny helpers and all that, and then he sent my coach to me, and it honestly was the best thing ever because I wouldn't be who I am today. But what you guys have to understand is he's going to get their attention, but the worst thing you guys could do is get in the way. Don't be discouraged, Mark. He's going. Now, that's another thing we're going to talk about Saturdays. When God told you, because this has happened a lot, that he'll be gone by the end of the year. There's more even to that. He could be even saying that he's going to be gone this year. Like, you have to understand the year just started. And if we're going even by like the Jewish years and stuff like that, that's a whole different thing. This is why things can get confusing, guys. See my question. What was the question again, honey? We have a few more minutes. I wish I could stay on here longer, guys, but it's a school night, and then when I wake up, I gotta do calls as soon as I wake up. And I want to apologize that I only got one video up today. I hope this live kind of compensated that. It's been very busy. I don't think so. Is this a movie, honey? The Prodigal Husband? Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to clear your name. God is going to avenge you. He's going to humble your enemies. I'll never forget one day I was laying in bed. This was like the best ever. when God gave me a word in his word and went on to say to sit back and watch him humble my enemies. And I was like, I got like chills, and boy did he. Boy did he. The more and more and I'm not saying good for anybody, you know, I don't mean that, guys. The more and more I listen to you, the more I feel I am getting closer to God. As much as I want to help my husband, I know I can't find it. Yeah, well, you know what, girl? That's because wisdom helps that. Something I encourage you to do is read the book of Proverbs. Wisdom is what we need on this journey. Proverbs, you're going to find all wisdom. No, I didn't see it. What's your first name, honey? T. Marie is what it says. I didn't see it, but I'm going to watch it specifically for you, and then I'll review it maybe the next live. Yeah, John, you're getting out of your comfort zone. I'm proud of you. Everybody on here, my client John, we've been working together every week. He is flying through this, and he is determined. He's coming into this new year bold. I mean, seriously, let's all give him a round of applause. Round of applause. Yeah, everybody put the clapping in the comments for him. Well, yeah, it is a new season. This is a new season for many of you. And I want to understand, people, they don't understand that everybody's getting a new season right now. Whether your spouse is coming back or not this season, it's a new season for everybody. I'm going to share a tip with everybody here. Everybody here should be prioritizing their health too. I'm going to tell you right now that if you're not taking care of your health, it's going to be a lot harder on this journey. It's going to be a lot harder. I mean, start eating cleaner, getting better sleep. That's why, like, right now, you're probably thinking I'm an old lady, but I'm going to be going to bed soon. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm going to take my magnesium and go to sleep. I know what my body needs to be able to function at its best. God has shown me. Oh, I can't wait to hear it, Mark. Write all those details down and we will interpret together. I'm so glad, Jillian. Yeah, anybody that comes your way, whatever you've learned, share it with them. This is discipleship, guys. This is discipleship. Now, I want everybody here, before I go, because I'm going to write it down so I don't forget it. I'm going to figure out another time to go live. Again, I'm trying to do my best, guys. I'm so glad for all the patience. Everybody on here, put your requests of what you would like me to have a topic of discussion for next live. Yes, I'm coming into agreement with that too, Nicole. Yes. Yes. A lot will. That's why my post I did in the Facebook group the other day, I said, you know, take it back to the Lord. I said, many. I always like to say many because not all, because we're all in different seasons. Some people maybe just started it. But yeah, many. I see. I'm glad to hear that, Jillian. I ain't no old lady. I just want to be functioning at my best. And if anybody here wants a tip to get more protein in, because, you know, you should be getting 120 to 140 grams of protein a day to function at your best. You'll know when you don't get enough in. This is a hack to get more in. So this hot chocolate I made was 40 grams of protein. You're probably thinking, how is that? Get yourself some organic beef bone broth. I found this on TikTok. I love hot chocolate, so this is awesome. Get yourself some organic beef bone broth. You're getting your collagen and all that stuff in it. You fill it up 2 cups. You microwave it, and then you put 2 servings of chocolate collagen protein at the store, the Vital Proteins. So that's going to be like 20 grams. Plus your 20 grams of bone broth, that's 40 grams. Put a little bit of, grass-fed milk in. I like to put peppermint oil in it, like real peppermint oil, to give it like a peppermint hot chocolate feel. Okay, just like a drop or 2, like of doTERRA. And then coconut whipped cream, because it's better for you. Telling you right now, you got 40 grams right there. And it's very good. And you're getting all that collagen. Yeah, we could go more into witchcraft. I don't want to scare anybody, but yeah, we could go more into witchcraft. Okay, here's the thing, April. No, it's not. But unfortunately, you can't control anybody. So you got to let them do whatever they're going to do. Topic, standing even though... Yeah, that's a good one, John. Topic, standing even though we've given our spouses biblical... Okay, so I'm going to write this down. Oh, and I want to advertise this too, guys. My girl Cindy, she's in her assignment and she is selling these. It's $20 with shipping. It's a war room journal, and you can write down your prayers and stuff like that. If you want to get in contact with her, write it down to get one. It is, where's her ministry at? 811 ministries@gmail.com. Support one another, guys. Listen, this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to help each other out. Just like you would want helped out. And a lot of you, as my clients, I do this with you guys too. I always make sure I help you all out. Okay, so John, topic. Standing even though we've given biblical. This is a good one. Very good. I have to look at my book, John. Are we on for tomorrow or Thursday? I can't remember. Okay, so this prophet said God want to restore me. What season does that mean? He's going to restore you on the whole process, sweetheart. People think restoration always means marriage restoration. He's going to restore your marriage, but he's going to restore you first. And that's going to happen on the whole process. There's no specific season for that, honey. Dan Fisher, maybe discuss covenant. Okay, let me write this down. Witchcraft. I know way too much about that, guys. I had so many witches in my circle. And what if the person said they don't want to do it? What if the person doesn't want to do it? I'm confused what you mean. And what if the person said they don't want to do it? Well, they could say all that they want, but God's going to get his way. Just like Jonah didn't want to come into his assignment. Sadly, I don't want my kids to get confused when I know it won't last. I get that, but you can't control him at the end of the day, honey. You got to give this over to God. What is the shortest time of restoration? Okay. I don't like getting into that because everybody's situation is different. I'll put it to you this way. if you do the work, you can fly through very fast. Very fast. You have to understand, myself and a lot of people ahead of me didn't have coaches right away. That's why it lasts so long. Don't compare yourself to other people. God's given plenty of help now. Can I be attacked by witchcraft even though I don't know anyone? Listen, Ray. Witches are everyday people. Like, I could be your friend at work and be a witch, and you wouldn't know. They're everyday people. I'm going to do a video on this the next. Yes, Ray, you definitely can. Oh, okay, you answered that, Sherry. Any restoration? Okay, John, I'll remember that. I have to look at my book. Any restoration success of couples that live together but separate? Any restoration success? Yeah. Oh, tons. I have tons. Tons of clients that are either in the home. I experienced both, in the home and out of the home. Most people end up out of the home, but there's definitely in-home situations for sure. But when you're in the home, I would pick out of the home any day. Any day, it's better than in the home. In the home, it's way worse. They're different. They're bad for different reasons, but it's way more tormenting with them in the home. Monitoring spirits for sure. Watch what you say and do. We can, yes, absolutely. And speaking death is another one. Anyone want to know more about the spiritual? Yeah, we could talk more about the spiritual side. I'd love to do that. Can you do a live on putting our focus on restoration of our spouse's relationship? Yeah, we could do that. Put focus on our spouse's restoration of our relationship with God. I have lots of videos on the counterfeit, April. But I could do another one. We could talk more about the counterfeit. I would like to learn more about the counterfeit and what their intentions. Counterfeit intention. You're welcome, honey. Who is the prodigal? If I was cheating, then I don't get, because how am I standing if I cheated on the person because the person... Well, usually there's a lot of people that are prodigals that end up becoming the standard. Topic, restoration, success stories. Okay. So we'll peck away at these lists. Yes, that's a real good one, Ken. That's really good. Okay, so most of the time there is counterfeits, known or unknown. Most of the time. However, it could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be friends, but most of the time there's counterfeits and you just don't know about it. I'm only saying what most is. It doesn't mean all the time. I've been restored, now waiting for my marriage and family. Yeah, well, Nicole, that is the type of thing to where it's going to happen out of the blue. And if it hasn't happened yet, it's because there's still work that he's doing in you right now to get you ready. Yeah, Fireproof's an excellent one, girl. Excellent. Okay, guys. I hope everybody here has a wonderful rest of their night. I will be trying to get on here more often. As you know, I do what I can. I hope everybody knows that I would get on here every day if I could. It's tough, you know. So, I will be back on here doing my normal videos tomorrow. And to everybody I have sessions with tomorrow, I hope you have a wonderful night. I will talk to you tomorrow. And I love you all. Last couple things. Can counterfeits be a lifestyle? Also, not necessarily a person. My spouse is impressed with a fantasy lifestyle. So again, most of the time there's some type of counterfeit, but it could also be, like I said, drugs, alcohol, other things like that. T-Will, the CEO topic. Do you take care of the kids you made with counterfeit if he was under a spell and your spouse says? That's basically back and forth. Like, most of the time prodigals aren't being reliable to anybody, and they're definitely not taking care of kids. They're living a carefree life. However, when God restores them, if they had kids with the counterfeit, God will make sure it's done in a way that is going to keep you guys intact with each other, and it's not going to hurt anybody. So I did a video on this. I'm so glad you enjoyed the live, Dennis. I believe we talk tomorrow. I will talk to you tomorrow. Everybody get good sleep. Sleep with the angels. And remember what I said. Put on your Bible app next to your bedstand. Put your phone upside down so the light doesn't disturb you. And put it on and let it play the Bible app on audio all night long. Keep those demons out. Rest in the Lord. And I always recommend everybody to take magnesium before bed. It will definitely help. And you're definitely welcome, Keisha. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow on my videos in between sessions. You all have a wonderful night. Bye.